We're back for number 2, or the University of Texas. I'm a big University of Texas fan. Just want you to know that. So why are you doing this? Why are you here? When you take an evaluation of your bank account or you take an evaluation of your health account, why are you here? Why? Okay. Why exactly did you end up here? Why exactly did you end up here? I'm not asking you why. I'm saying, why did you end up here? Go back to financially. Well, you started a business that didn't work out. Maybe you were stubborn. Maybe you tried to do things your own way. Maybe you try to control too much, and you don't give up. You don't give up the power to other people. You don't delegate very well. Maybe you tried a couple of things and it failed financially. Maybe you've worked a job for a while, and as inflation went up, your paycheck stayed the same, and as inflation went up, your paycheck stayed the same, and here you are today. Maybe as a couple or as a family, you decided to bring mama home or to bring dad home, and that decision didn't work out quite how you wanted it to, and you had to stretch a little bit, and you didn't do something else. You didn't do something else to replace that income or to do something like that. I say that to you because a lot of times as we're doing this business, we look at supplemental income. We look at things to supplement what we're doing or diversify what we're doing. What got you here? What got you? Was it your laziness? Was it the things that you didn't do? You answer those questions for yourself, and then here's what usually happens in network marketing. We start this business and we haven't been connected with our friends. We start this business and we haven't been as diligent with our friends. We haven't been with the people that we know, that we care about, we love, and they tell us to make a list of people, successful people we know. They have you make a list of people that you want to talk to, people you'd like to have in your life for the next 20 years if you were to do this business. And all of a sudden you write that list down and you start making those phone calls. But because you hadn't stayed connected, because you haven't poured what I call emotional currency into people, a lot of times you end up having to go and rebuild those relationships and rebuild those friendships and go spend more time doing that. And that's a really tough thing to do. Some people are able to barrel right through that. They can hit it and move right past it. They can get on the phone and say, listen, we can catch up later about personal. I'm calling you about business. And people can shift from personal mode straight into business mode quicker than others can. There are people that have really good skill sets when it comes to that. But you're going to have to pour some emotional currency. You're going to have to pour some time into people in order for them to listen to what you're talking about. Also, if they know you as a school teacher and all of a sudden you're talking about, nutrition, they know you as a school teacher, not this. Maybe you're an accountant and you're talking about, legal services. You know what? They don't know you from a legal perspective. They know you as a football coach. Maybe you're a preacher and all of a sudden you're talking about something that has to do with high-end pharmaceutical type of products or whatever that is. You get the picture here. But they don't know you. They know you from this arena, not that arena. All of a sudden, they're supposed to lean on your understanding. They have no idea what you've learned, what your background is. You're going to have to pour into those people. So I say that to you as you start this business. Why does this anger you? Because you're having to get to know a new you, and your prospects are having to get to know a new you. So there's a lot of work and a lot of time that has to be put into that, and you have to be patient with that. You have to be wise with that. You have to let that process grow, and a lot of times people want it to happen immediately. You want it to happen overnight. Boom, boom. I want it to happen right now. I got to fix it now. Well, it didn't take you quickly to get broke or to quickly get to where you're at. That took time. It took time to get there. From a wellness perspective, you may look at your own life and say, hey, I got to make some changes. Hey, maybe I'm having some autoimmune disorders, or maybe I've got diabetes in my family, or maybe I've got some gut problems where I've got to get some things worked out in my life, or whatever that is, whatever that process is. You're going to have to go through that, and you're going to have to lean on somebody else's understanding. You're going to have to actually look for some people that are going to have your best interests. And you know what? That's frustrating. That's frustrating. It's also scary. Fear is a lot of times what drives us. When we talk about our finances, that's fearful. Man, I was the first person. To really get to know me is if I've got to open up all the books of my life, oh my gosh, if I've got to open up every chapter, are you kidding me? I don't want to do that. I don't want to show you intimately into my finances, what I'm making, what can I put over here? Can I make a budget over here. Over here, I don't want you to look and see where my white blood cells are and my red blood cells are and, you know, what's my triglycerides and what are all these different things. I don't want you to look into all that, or I don't want you to look and see what my blood pressure is, what my resting heart rate is. I don't want you to do all that. What I really want you to do is take my word for it. And that's not the case. You're here. You're right here, right now. So in network marketing, you're going to have to get honest with yourself about a few things. And I talk about your wealth and your health. I talk about those two things today because those two things, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, good luck with that. You can have all the health in the world. If you don't have any money to enjoy that health, good luck with that. I bring those two to you today because to live a life of abundance, I believe when you're healthy, you're happy. I believe when you see good things happening for yourself, you become happy and you portray that. You put that out there into the world. I say that to you because God gives us amazing things that He does for us. And when we're healthy, man, we're happy. Our body's functioning better. We're resting better at night. We're kinder. We're nicer. We're gentler in our conversations. When we're broke, when we're unhappy, when we're really out of shape and no things are going right, sometimes we have a little gloom. Sometimes we're a little bitchy. Sometimes we're a little angry. And those are things that happen. Well, it's hard to recruit people when you're angry. It's hard to recruit people when you're not there where you want to be. It's hard to recruit people into your opportunity when you're not where you ultimately want to be, or you're not where financially you think you're going to be. Here's what people tell me all the time. JT, when I get to 10 grand a month, I'm going to be able to go sponsor that person. And I go, you'll never get to 10 grand a month. Because if you have to wait till you get to 10 grand a month to call that person, you'll never get there. They may be the person that takes you to 10 grand a month, not you waiting to get to 10 grand a month. Here's another one. JT, man, I can't wait to cram it down their throat. I can't wait to show them and slap them in the face and tell them how wrong they were about who I am. That's another big dumb one. Get that one out of your system. That's not going to work. Yeah, use that as some fuel, but ultimately don't make that about that. You know, do things for your kids. Do things for your significant other. Do things of abundance and happiness and joy, because those are the things that are ultimately going to drive you. You know, I'll never forget when I started creating my first big paychecks in network marketing. Man, I wasn't happy because I didn't have a long-term vision, long-term purpose. I got there. What's next? I started making a lot of money. What's next? I didn't have a bigger drive and a bigger vision for myself. So what's your drive? What's your vision? I say that to you today because that's ultimately things that make us mad, that make us angry, that cause us to get into that place of anger and our emotions take over. So my suggestion to you is this: 25 years, all the data, all the research that you need. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath. Let it all out. Because guys, you didn't get here overnight and you're not going to get out of it overnight. It's going to take you a little time to do this. For some people, I mentored a young man. His name's Austin Tice. I've mentored him in life. He went to 6 figures overnight. And I would like to say it's because he had a great mentor. But I'll say this to you. He was ready faster than I was. It happened faster for him. It took me 4 years to figure out network marketing. Before I actually started making real money in this industry, it took me 4 years. I don't know why it happens fast for others and slower for others. Maybe there's some lessons. I believe 2 things in life. I believe number 1, you're being taught, or number 2, you're being tested. And when you're being taught is when you get to learn the messages, the things that you're supposed to learn in order to help you grow. So number 1, I think we're always being taught, but sometimes we're being tested. Sometimes I have companies that come to me and they dingle, you know, they here's the keys, here's some money, I call it the shiny object syndrome. Guys, I don't waver, and neither should you. Don't get that shiny object syndrome. Don't let things pull you right or left. Get focused on your outcomes. Get focused on your goals so that you can get there. So number 1, if you're being taught or you're being tested, maybe you're being tested, you know, financially or physically. Maybe you're being tested to not try to go to the next level because you're not where you need to be physically and you're not where you need to be financially. I have no idea, but I do know this. This is one thing I do know for a fact, is you can make changes And those changes may happen fast or they may happen slow. I can't determine that for you. But those changes, if you stick to doing the steps and the process and working on it and recruiting and gathering customers and recruiting and gathering customers and building teams, eventually over time, it kicks in. Your hard work does get rewarded over time. Now, I don't make any claims or guarantees, so I want you to understand that. But if you keep doing the same activity and keep surrounding yourself with great people and doing the same activities and surround yourself with more great people, it eventually catches up and things actually start to fall in place for you and your business. So don't be angry. Don't be angry at the process. Take a deep breath, relax, and let's move on to the next lesson that's in front of you. Video number 2, don't be mad.